I think we can all agree that Oob has the most potential out of all the Z fighters. Although we haven't seen much from him in the canon series, the groundwork for his success is already there. And if Toriyama and Toei treat him right, then without a doubt I can see him surpassing Goku and Vegeta, or rivaling them bare minimum. Now, the reason this character is going to be busted if written correctly is due to a couple of things. First being his starting power level. For those who don't know, Oob is a reincarnation of Majin Buu. Not that one, this one. The Menace himself. Being a descendant of Buu should give Oob access to an absurd starting point. And from what we've seen in the manga, he can already tap into his latent power with some guidance, of course. But yeah, if we look at characters like Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and everyone else in Z, they all started off weaker than Raditz. But through rigorous training, they all reached the levels that they're at now. Even their memeiest warrior, Yamcha, is a planet buster. And that's nothing to sneeze at. I'm saying all of this because if the Z fighters were able to reach these levels of power from where they started, then Oob starting at peak Buu Saga levels of power is insane. On top of that, there's evidence that might allude to him being way stronger than this, like God levels of power, as a child. And the thing is, there's only one way for him to go, and that's up, unless he pulls a Gohan. The second reason is also related to Majin Buu, and that's his abilities. From what we've seen in DBZ and DBS, Majin Buu has access to an array of strange yet powerful abilities. A list of the most broken ones are regeneration, body manipulation, and magic, which he typically uses to turn people and things into food. And if Toriyama and Toei really wanted to go crazy, then Oob could also gain access to Buu's absorption technique. These are obviously stretches, but who's to say that Oob won't tap into some of these somewhere down the line? And I know this isn't canon, but Majin was probably one of the coolest ideas that GT wasted. And I'm not opposed to super picking it up and hopefully doing him some justice. For those who don't know, Majin is a fusion between Fat Buu and Oob, essentially turning Oob from Kid Buu to Super Buu, giving him access to some of Buu's abilities and an increase in power. The third reason is God Ki. Yes, Oob has God Ki. How? Well, it's because of the Grand Supreme Kai. He's one of the Kais that Kid Buu absorbed, and just like every other Kai, he had access to God Ki. Apparently, when Majin Buu split into Evil and Good Buu, the divine ki that the Grand Supreme Kai wielded went to Kid Buu, and his body went to Fat Buu. I mean, it makes perfect sense for Oob to have access to it, being a reincarnation of Kid Buu. When looking at the Grand Supreme Kai during the Moro arc, he also mentions that he doesn't have access to his full strength, alluding to the fact that his divine ki was either missing or somewhere else. And lo and behold, this little guy had it. Now, what does this mean for Oob? Well, remember when I said that Oob could possibly be at God tier levels of power? This is why. God Ki is a more potent version of Ki that grants the users a huge increase in power, and Oob has this without any proper training. With the proper training, Oob is going to only get stronger. And speaking of training, the fourth reason is Goku. The man himself is going to train this prodigy. I know Goku isn't the very best master compared to those who have been teaching far longer, but Goku is a combat genius and has an array of techniques that he could teach if he wanted to. If he chooses not to, then it doesn't really matter. Goku could still teach Oob how to wield God Ki better and obviously push Oob's limits. And although it isn't confirmed that Oob will train with others, who's to say that he doesn't when he gets older? And if he does, I really can't see who would rival him. He'd damn near be unstoppable. The last reason is time. Oob has his whole life ahead of him in order to get stronger, and he's already starting off at levels that took the Saiyans around 40 years to achieve. With him being human, he'll obviously age faster, but we don't know what effects Buu has on Oob besides the power he gained. Regardless, by the end of Z, Oob is just 10 years old, and if they intend on keeping the ending the same, then this should be the age that Oob meets Goku, and if the series continues on after the end of Z, which I do believe is going to be the case, then we can see what's in store for this character. The thing about Oob is, these examples are just the start for what this character has to offer, and seeing as GT is not a canonized continuation of a story, there are a plethora of directions for this character to go in terms of power. A few I can name are the Kaioken, the Ultimate Form, MUI, UE, fusing with other strong characters, and the list goes on and on. The future for Oob is a bright one if he's written correctly. But yeah, with that being said, thank you to everyone that watched this video. I hope you have a good day. Peace, peace, deuce, deuce.